Hi guys, my name is Poober. Thank you for joining me for episode 8 of Factorio 0.15. And since I last saw you, I've been pretty busy. I have finally finished putting down all of the belts that comprise our main bus system, which circles around the lake here in the center. And I've even double checked that the circle is symmetrical by building a blueprint and making sure that when stacked upon itself that it is even with all of the other sides. The other thing I've done is add these filter inserters to give myself a visual cue for where our products are going to be going into the main bus. We have steel that will be going in here to the far left belt lines. Then we have copper and iron plates in the center, and then our stone products here, as well as our coal line to the very far right. The other thing I've done is build this belt contraption, which will allow our belts to go from our smelting of either iron or copper and then snake around so that we have half of our products going into the left hemisphere and the other half going into the right. And that is all in preparation for today's episode, where we will finally be upgrading our iron smelting system. So I've grabbed a couple stacks of about everything that we should need for our build. And what we're actually going to end up doing is using the One Wolf 34's smelter design. And I've linked that down below, and I've got it pulled up on my other monitor for a reference. But what his design does is it's essentially like a 16 by 16 tileable square with 12 furnaces in that square with one output. And we'll have to modify his design a little bit, whereas we only have the stone furnaces, but I don't think that will be a problem. But I wanted to use his design because it is more beginner base friendly, and we can expand on it in the future if we choose to. So let's start out with counting the 16 tiles. We're going to use our yellow belt as our reference point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then he has the end of his square going up here. And then now that we have that counted out, we can connect these. And then he has some splitters. So let me put one there. And if you're following along, this was featured in Exterminator's Building a Better Factory build. And it was originally made for steel or preferably electric smelters, but obviously we don't have that tech at this point. So we're going to have to make a few modifications, including to our inserters. I'm trying to keep the same footprint so that the only thing we have to modify in the future is just everything in about a 16 by 16 square, but keeping the same length and proper dimensions of the belts surrounding it. So we're going to do an inserter there, and let's put our first furnace about here. And we're going to do 3 furnaces to a side with 4 sides total, making 12 furnaces total. And we're spacing them one apart, but in the future when we expand on that, all of the furnaces will be touching, whereas they're going to be a 3 by 3 size instead of the 2 by 2 that the stone furnace is currently. And we expand another 3 there. And the last 3 there. I think that's lined up appropriately. It's slightly off, like these don't quite line up, and that's how it should be. So now we just have to put the last of our belts, which go around the perimeter, and these will feed the ore and the coal. And we're going to do underground there. Inserters here, and let's just give everybody else their inserter. And these guys can use the fast inserters, they don't need the red ones. We'll do that there, there, and there. So now all of our furnaces should have an inserter for their input of the ore and the coal. We'll finish doing our line here. Whoops. We can actually make this red now. And inserter here. Okay, so it's looking good so far. In the One Wolf 34's original design, he has pretty much like a 3x3 belt loop here, almost, that gets put into the 4 belt output. But since we're having to use these furnaces instead, we're going to have to modify kind of our output a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of do some zigzag shape just so that everything can have a inserter fit to an output here. It'll look fairly ugly for now, I know, but we can modify it eventually, is my plan. We won't keep this long term. Either we're going to upgrade to the electric or the steel furnaces, or we're going to do something completely different. And then we're going to do yellow undergrounds. And one thing interesting about his design is that he actually does use these yellow belts for the plate output. And the reason for that is that it allows more compression by having a slower throughput rate with the yellow belts, but then it's added to the red belts, and then eventually it can feed 4 blue belts worth and be 100% or close to 100% compressed once we have about 12 of these tiles stacked vertically or however we want on top of each other. So we're going to have our output come in here. And let's start adding some electricity so it's not so dark. We'll just kind of put them in between the furnaces, I think. Maybe one in the middle. There we go, that's a little bit better. All right, let's keep working on our plate output. It's so handy having another monitor, or else this would be a lot harder. Okay, I think I put that down. Even with my reference on the other screen, I'm still messing up. So that goes there instead. Okay, and a gap there. We have 2 more splitters here, and then the last splitter's there. And then this should just kind of compress and equalize itself with this balancer setup. So then we can just connect these back into our main line. They're going to feed over here to the right. And one thing I want to do is put in our pretend wall here. Again, we're using the yellow belts to differentiate what is a wall or what's going to be our walking path. And this just helps me plan for the future so I don't accidentally do a huge build or something and forget what the master plan is. And I'm loving the distance with the underground belts now. I do like typically about a 3 tile wide walking space, just so there's plenty of room, and then I like the walls surrounding the walking space, so it's so nice now that these can actually fit. On my beautiful map tour, we did not have the belts that could actually fit underneath that distance, so I'm really thrilled about that now. And then of course the blue underground belts go even further. I believe they have an 8 tile distance in between them now. Okay, so that should be feeding into kind of that destination there. And then eventually we'll add more of this tile. We can go upwards, and then I'll probably, well, yeah, I will do another tile of that basically over here. For now, let's keep putting in our inserters to our output line. So we've got one there. Oh. Huh. I feel like I've somehow messed up, but I don't know how. We'll do there. I feel like this line here was supposed to go over like one more, but I don't know for sure. We'll need another power pole. We'll put it there. And another power pole here. I do feel like I've messed up, so I think everything should be like down by one. So let me just fix that real quick. Let's put these like that. And we'll put that over one. Okay, that seems to make more sense to me. We can still leave those red inserters there, that should be fine. And that's still okay there. Okay, that should technically be working. Let's give everything else its power again. Okay, so now all they need are coal and iron ore coming in. Our next dilemma is how do we bring the coal and the iron ore up here? Let's take a look at our iron patches. We've got, this is probably the closest one, is here to the right, but it's not accessed right now by miners. Of course, this one is. So I'm thinking we will just pull from this line here and bring it upwards. So I do have enough belts, I think, for that. So in preparation for that, let's just start putting a line here. Let's make the walk down. It will be nice once I have those that skeleton armor thing to increase my walking speed. Oh. And night vision will be nice too eventually. So we'll put that there and just take from the top there, we're going up. Kill these couple of trees in our way. We'll also use them for our electrical poles. Let's see. Oh, we're almost there. Not quite yet though. So at this point, we'll join our coal to that line there, and so half of it is basically split onto the line. It's something I don't typically like to do, but in this case it's fine, whereas it's essentially just laying down the blueprint for, you know, our main plan. Which reminds me, We should take a blueprint of this so that we can add to it. Oh, and I guess, no. I'm just deleting this because, or else this rest of the line will go to waste, so. Oh. That doesn't work. There we go. Let's put that back. Okay, let's build a couple more poles. Start connecting up the power. It doesn't have to be visually appealing at the moment. We're just going to modify this once we get the upgraded poles. And let's start moving upwards towards that coal patch. While we're doing that, let's make some miners. Oh, and I don't know if you guys just noticed it, but red just appeared on my map. This is the first I've seen of any biters on this map before. Oh, and there they are. Looks like even a worm there. And it's fairly close to our coal patch where we're going, so that will be a problem. We'll have to worry about defending that. That will surely be attacked at some point, I imagine. So we may even want to consider not hooking this up to power quite yet. Oh, crap, I'm going the wrong way. I'm forgetting what my plan is. But yeah, we may want to consider whether we even hook this up to power, whereas we don't have anything to defend it yet. That's what I get for not really planning out my defense as well. I tend to get more focused on what we've been doing the past couple of episodes, which is more base planning, planning for the future, instead of kind of the more practical things. Can I build a couple more? Ooh. How big is that? Gosh, we're gonna have to deal with that here soon. Well, for now, I may want to hold off connecting that until we get some ammo production at the very least and some turrets made. So let's make a couple by hand. And let's head down to where we have all of our automation and see if we can get just a couple assemblers making some ammo. Because I don't want to build that and just have to repair it and have no plan for defense. So we'll extend this a little bit. We can use the yellow belts, that's fine. Get rid of this guy. Oops. I'm just thinking, since this already extends that way, we could do something like that. Let's build... Oh, I'm out of iron. I'm almost out of copper too. All right, let's pick up a little bit more copper. Ooh, and being down here at the research facility reminds me we should do some research. Since we're worried about our defense at this point, it might not be a bad idea to do more military research as our next thing. That way we can get some of the piercing ammo researched at the very least, even though we don't have the ingredients for it quite yet. But let's do maybe, can I make a box? Something like that maybe. And some poles. Let's put down a light or two. And let's do a splitter here. Just so that this side can get it. And they will output like that. And we'll set this, because we don't have steel yet, we'll set this to the yellow ammo. And, oh, that is going the wrong way. Let's change that. And we'll cap this off at, what, like 200 should be okay. Just for starters. I don't want to keep this ammo for long. We'll upgrade as soon as we can, but it's better than nothing. And it's going pretty fast, actually. Not too bad. Let's build maybe a couple more turrets. A couple more mining drills. Got the ammo coming into my bar here. Not a whole lot to put into our turrets if I put those down, though. Okay, we're getting there. Alright, we'll call that good on our ammo for now. Let's see, am I good on everything else? I should probably pick up a little bit more iron and copper while I'm here. And then we should research something else. What should we research next? Ooh, the tool belt would be really nice to have. Ooh, no. But I want that, because steel furnaces would be better than regular furnaces, stone furnaces. So let's do that. So let's head back up to our facility up there. Let's finally give our coal farming station up there some power and make sure that our factory works. Before we do, let's put down our turrets here. We'll kind of surround it from the top, which is where I think they're most likely to come in from. That didn't distribute itself so great. So let's kind of give the last guys some more. And hook this up. Okay. Hopefully they just keep minding their own business. So let's go downstairs to our smelter area, see if it works. And then assuming it does, I will make a blueprint of this so that we can just use it as kind of a placeholder so we know where to put everything. We don't have to just keep referencing my other monitor. Okay, it's mostly working so far. Okay, they're all working. And let's check this out, see if the products end up in the right lanes. And it looks like they are. They're not going into the copper lanes or anything like that accidentally. So I think we'll call that a success for now. Oh, apart from this guy not going where he needs to be. But yeah, otherwise this is successful. We'll make a blueprint. So next time I see you, you might see a couple more of these tiled up or to the left here. But that's a lot of progress for today. So thank you for joining me for episode 8. I hope you'll join me for episode 9.